Welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 255.
I was just noticing that I was staring at the monitor instead of the camera.
Yeah. I've been trying to educate my children on that when we do selfies, so we went and did the photo shoot for those socks, and I was like, at the end, let's do a behind the scenes selfie, because Quentin was there, but mostly just to make sure that he wasn't home by himself. And I was like, your eyes, or the camera's that way, right? Like if you're looking at yourself, it looks like you're kind of aloof to to what's going on. So yeah, feedback. We are in loves with ourselves. Did you have a good 3-day Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it wasn't 100% perfect, but it was super hot, and I felt like we had really good mornings and really good evenings, but the middle of the day was just like, oh, what are we going to do? Sitting around waiting for the temperature to cool off.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have my grandfather-in-law to wish a happy Memorial Day, and he's gone. I guess I could have contacted my father-in-law. I hope my husband does that and say thank you for protecting and serving our nation. So this year I did a net.
Very cool.
Yeah, I like to be able to reach out. Generally, I see people on Memorial Day that have pins or hats or something on, and today the only place we went to the rack because the outdoor pool opened, and it was nutso. It was just people everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Because if you're not from here in Minnesota in May, it does not get into the 90s. Let alone it almost got into the 100s today, and the local news was saying that this is the longest stretch of over 90-degree weather that we've had since 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was in July, right? There was 5 days in July in 2012 where we were over 90 degrees in a row. It's bonkers. I feel like if I didn't already have an extreme amount of anxiety about next month being our retreat, this hot weather is just making me feel like we somehow skipped it. I fell asleep and then I woke up and the retreat was over somehow.
Right. How did we end up in July?
I know. It's where did my pseudo spring go? There was snow on the ground 2 weeks ago, I swear. Sullivan is eating her toes.
I'm trying to ignore it and then something new. Teeth.
Teeth, and then licking, and then teeth.
At first it was just claws, and it was okay, well maybe I can ignore him.
Yeah. He's trying to get a reaction out of you, Amy. He was
really
that wasn't working, so now I'm going to try the lick bite. Yes. Sullivan is very much keeping us on our toes this evening. We had some nice ZK sponsors that also sent along gifts for us. And the Sweet Sparrow yarn, he has picked up it was a dead bird and taken off across the room several times now. Just this is mine.
Yeah, and he almost is looking at it I know it's supposed to be here because she moved it.
I kept putting it back in the same spot. Silly me.
Yeah.
It's I was inviting him. Now he's back over there looking. Anyway, we're not going to make this all about Sullivan again. But no, we had a good 3-day weekend. My husband's been doing a lot of grilling. So we're just grilling up a storm. Tonight he did pineapple and brats and made potatoes. Just cut up a bunch of potatoes in foil. And then I had the genius idea of, after I got it on my plate, to just put plain mustard on it. And it was mustard potato salad. It was so good. It was so good. And 0 sugar. There's carbs in there, but 0 added sugar, which is what I'm doing. What else did we do? We went and did the outdoor swimming pool. I ran the half marathon yesterday. I felt really bad for the Med City Marathon folks that had trained for the actual full marathon. I was always planning to do the half marathon, but because of the heat index so early in the day, they actually canceled the 20 mile and the full marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody got knocked back down to the half marathon. And I was hoping they didn't receive too many complaints, or maybe they received some apologies, because there were quite a few people that, like, I jogged past that were walking that were wearing marathon bibs, right?
Aww.
Like, the first half, so like from 7 to 8 o'clock, it was like manageable, right? It was like pseudo the temperature that it had been when I had been running. And then all of a sudden it just hit. It was like sweltering and humid, and there was no breeze. I started getting like goosebumps, like you do when you start getting heat stroke, and getting a little bit nauseous. And so like the first half I was on target to have like a PR, and then the second half I added like 25 minutes to my split.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was walking. I met a wonderful woman named Sonia, or Sonia. I always flip them. I think it was Sonia. She's from town here, and she was talking about how she didn't want to get heat stroke because she was going to Chicagoland for her daughter's wedding next weekend. And so we kind of talked to each other, and I was like, well, if I'm not dragging you across the finish line, you can drag me. And she ended up dragging me because I got to the end, and I was like, I don't feel well. Like, I feel nauseous. And she's like, well, let's just walk. Let's just walk a little bit. Like, neither one of us are going to have a personal record here, right?
Yeah.
Like, why push it? And I was like, you're right. And then she's like, at the end, she kind of got me talking about my kids and stuff, and we were jogging along together. So, yeah, definitely wasn't a PR, but I was happy to have finished, right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it was so hot. It was sweltering, and people were just like wringing out their clothing. It was just unpleasant. Never would have assumed that you would run any sort of race in Minnesota in those temperatures ever, let alone in May. Mm-hmm. And they've had a string of those. I think they had a bad, a couple of years ago when I actually did do the marathon, they let people do the marathon, and it was super hot, and people like collapsed, and bad juju going on there. So yeah, I've been kind of limping around today because I don't know if I'm dehydrated or if my muscles are like, you're not giving me sugar. or
Carbs, woman.
Or what's going on. But yeah, I sat in the hot tub at the rack, and my kids you look like you're having a baby, Mom, because I turned around and faced the jets because it's my quads here. They look like you're having a baby, Mom. And I'm like, how do you know what like a birth bathtub looks like? And B, don't say that to me. I'm like trying to get the jets against my quads here. But yeah, it's been so hot. That's like bottom line. So hot. Quinn's been learning to ride his bicycle, and super excited about it. I think in the past we pushed a little bit too hard. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, it'd be really great if you could ride your bicycle, because then you could go, to this and that and or the other with us. And he kind of picked up on that and was like, well, I see your peer pressure and I raise you stubbornness. But
which
he's
is good.
Yeah, no, he's finally excited about it. He's asking Dad to go over. Jeremy's got it down to a science, right? Like they go over on the grass, so it's less pressure that you're not going to fall down. Generally, if you can get started down a hill and kind of, have that help with the not needing to pedal and just be able to put your feet down if you're, and so they practiced, and he's now to the point where he doesn't need Jeremy to push him. He's starting, and it's a point of pride for him. I can get started pedaling all on my own. Now all I need to do is work on braking and I can't remember turning, I think is what he said. Braking and turning. So yeah, that's been exciting. Did you do the Murph today?
No, we were traveling, so
I didn't know that you were out of town.
Yeah, I went to my mom's. Kids got to drive some tractors. Well,
go to the lake.
Lawnmowers. Yeah, and we went fishing and stuff, but not in the water. And then, we were traveling back today, and kids were happy to get home, but then we were in the part of town that lost power today.
Makes for a warm house when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was only out for half an hour, I think, but yeah.
And this is where all those people where I was like, you know, the people in the South that are complaining about it being under 20 degrees for, 2 days in a row, now they can totally laugh at us complaining about the heat, because I'm sure this is nothing. I remember the first SSK when we went, it was like 120, and that was without any heat index, right?
Right, oh yeah.
So we know that our temperatures are not what you would call, horrible or anything like what you put up with down in the South. It's just kind of unseasonably warm for us. So.
Oh, and like you choose when to do things, right? So in the hot of the summer, you would just do it really late.
Yeah, this morning or this afternoon when it was really warm and we weren't at the pool, we watched Willow.
That's a funny show.
Well, it's a good, I don't know, my kids were all kind of like, and who is this by? And why have we never seen this? Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Did you own it or
rent it? Yeah, yep. Jeremy found it somewhere. But yeah, it's not on Netflix. We looked on Netflix, and I think, did you get it from the public library? Anyway, yeah, we watched it, and the kids were engaged.
Yeah,
Val Kilmer, and dwarves.
Yeah, the little people.
Yeah.
I mean, like foot tall little people.
Yeah, and the baby. And there's trolls, and anyway, it's fantastical.
I remember liking it when I was little.
Yeah.
Don't remember too much of the plot, so I'm like, oh, well, I'd have to.
There's a baby that's going to save the world. Yeah, I feel like it was kind of these small, humble beings, the elven folk, unassuming, nothing to be proud of type people are the one that ends up saving the world, right? So it's kind of like The Hobbit, but, it wasn't before The Hobbit because the books were obviously written by then. I think some of it was filmed in New Zealand. We were looking in the credits. Anyway, Willow, Mad Mardigan, and Willow and the baby was Elora, which is kind of like Eleonora. She would just have to take out the L and the E and the A and the N. Or the E and the A and the N. It's Elora.
Okay.
Elora is the baby's name that saves them all. She's their savior. Anyway. Anywho, are we ready for Sullivan? For crying on it. Cracker.
You just knocked something off of the shelf.
Yeah, it's some driftwood that we brought back from New Zealand, our honeymoon, that he's now going to start gnawing on our decorative driftwood. Life with a kitten.
I have claimed it is mine.
So we've got the Scrappy Happy KAL, the April drawing, not May, right?
Not May.
It's May. Yeah, we haven't done April. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Okay. Wait a minute. What month is it?
We haven't done May because May's not over yet.
Yes, so this is true. So for May, we have these wonderful 716 colorways from Vintage ZK 2017. It is Yoga Fett, the dissatisfied customer, and you girls are my kind of superheroes. And I think these would make a scrappy, happy type of project. Super speckle-tastic, too. And then a pattern from me are the two prizes and the winners. It was 2 through 162 for the month of April. 131 was Roo, R-O-O, C-M-C. Rookmik. It was Anne.
Okay, Anne.
And she knit a shawl. It was really pretty. And 118 is Manda B, and that was Amanda. Okay. So contact me, and the order of your choice, either the yarn or a pattern by me.
Yeah, you've got some new patterns.
I do indeed. Yeah. Yep. So the last time we drew 2 through 123. So yeah. Okay. Next month. Sorry, I'm second guessing myself. And time. And the passage of time. So yeah, we kind of delayed podcasting a little bit because I wanted to get my latest patterns out there. So I have 4 new sock patterns out there in a collection, which is kind of fun to be able to get out there all together and publish as a collection. I'm super excited about them. I've been knitting everything, nothing but socks, everything socks, nothing but double negative or everything socks. And so, yeah, I've got two current promotions. So for the whole collection, if you use the coupon code SYNERGY, that gets you $5 off of the collection of 4, which is basically like getting 4 patterns for the cost of 2 of the socks. And the other one is BOGO, so buy one, get one free. So if only 2 of the socks strike your fancy, you can get 2 socks for the price of 1 on the patterns. And I believe you will see a great deal of them in my finished objects, so I don't know that I have to necessarily drive through them. I did have some fancy PDFage in the collection, so if you buy the whole collection, of course, it's not going to load now, but if you buy the whole collection, it's got a combined terms and techniques, and also it's got a index, so if you click on it, it will go to the actual sock pattern, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so basically for years and years I've been knitting socks with a single skein of yarn, and because of the Scrappy Happy KAL and trying to use up my scraps, I started using 2 colors of yarn, and I loved how they turned out. I love these micro stripes on the back, and I also love that you can highlight and really make the stitch motif pop. So yeah, go check it out. Hopefully those coupon codes I have, I think they're expiring at the end. I always do the end of the day on June 1st rather than at midnight, just because I know sometimes I go, does June 1st mean? And so I'd like to, I like to go the other direction rather than have it be strict at stroke of midnight. Right. Like, no, you've got all day, June 1st. So, oh yeah, I remember that coupon code. So yeah, grab 2 yarns and get started. I love it. I love it. I'm not going to be able to show anything because, of course, something is going wrong with the iPad. Something that my kids installed on it. All of a sudden it said access denied. So that's always fun. Do you have some FOs to show? FO show.
I finished these while we were messing with the camera.
Okay, yep.
So I have a pair of socks that don't have the ends in.
I was going to mention last time, thank you to everyone that gave the feedback that the sound was really quiet. I did end up publishing one with the sound boosted. Hopefully we've got the mic all the way up to 10. Rear cat stampede behind us. Up to 10 is plussing 10 decibels. And if that's not loud enough this time, I will listen to it on something other than my headphones. Yep. And make sure that it's loud over speakers as well. Anyway, sorry, you said that about messing with the camera, and it reminded me.
Yes. So I took a little bit of a stitch motif from the Bristol Ivy book.
Okay.
That I saw
outside the box.
Yeah, and had to modify the stitch motif a little bit, but not a lot, to just be this part of the cuff. But I'm not quite sure if you could see that. But
and the yarn is?
It's the Tigger Targi from Blue Moon Fiber Arts. It's the first time I've actually made something out of it, so it's very nice.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, and super thick. You know, it's kind of like their Socks That Rocks light. It's really a beefy fingering weight, and I don't know. I think that these are for my aunt, because when I put a call out and I said I'd knit for my aunts, I didn't realize that both my aunts have same feet as me or bigger feet than me, so I'm going to be knitting some big socks. But these are done, and if she likes them, or they fit, I should say, because she said she had a 9.5 shoe size.
Okay.
And I have a 9.5 shoe size. So I knit these for me, more or less.
That does make it easy.
Yeah. And
I have some friends with 8s.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's right. Okay. if the circumference isn't a lot different, I get a different.
Yeah, and she didn't say that they were narrow feet, so I think these will be okay. But if they're not, I guess they'll come back to me, which is all right. But then the other aunt is 11.
And you're from Iowa, and you say aunt. Or have you
Aunt,
changed in Minnesota?
aunt.
Because
I
that's
don't
what
know.
your kids say.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry, not to bring up a controversial subject. Aunt versus aunt. I always thought Iwegians said aunt. Because that's what I said.
Excuse me. So like, yeah, Aunt Becky is my but I've only known Marilyn since I got married, so maybe she's aunt.
And she's
Aunt
originally
Marilyn.
from Minnesota, so yeah, she probably prefers to be called aunt. Probably where the aunts are from, or the aunt is from. Aunt/aunt is from what
As
they
to
like
what
to be
you
called. Yes, because my sister, before she passed, was like, Ellie is going to call me Aunt Melissa.
Oh.
None of this Minnesotan aunt stuff. And I said, okay.
But I have
Pretty
finished
Amy.
this.
Amy yarn, right?
Yes, this is 3 Irish Girls in the Amy colorway, and then the Hoki Locatelli. I can't remember the name of that. Granito. So it still needs to be blocked a little bit. You can kind of see that the pockets are kind of holding in a lot of extra fabric, and if I block that, it'll be more even.
It looks really nice when you took the picture. And did you knit the sleeves until you had no more?
I do have some more.
That was the length that you wanted.
Yeah, but not like a whole lot more, because I was able to get pockets. If I could take a picture right now.
Yeah.
Cat is attacking my feet again.
He apparently enjoys being off camera, but like messing with the on camera people.
Yeah.
That's.
Stop. Like, it's funny until it hurts.
It's funny till it hurts, Sullivan.
He's getting so big. I was noticing in the pictures, and he's always been very long. I took a picture of a ruler next to him. What are you doing? Huh?
Gorman.
What are you doing?
Trying to eat her toes.
What are you chewing on her for? Oh, he says, I can't be on camera.
Oh, yes.
Poof. Why ever would I want that? All right, so the pile of socks over here. I've knit nothing but socks. I believe, so this is the first pattern in the collection is the slip, slide, splash socks. They are a mirrored motif. You can choose to do the same sock twice if you'd like and have it be identical. But as is, and as I have them styled, they slant into each other. You could also have them slanting away from each other. I went on a water slide today.
That's true.
I had a conversation with people in line. I was the in-line entertainment. With the little kids, I was like, who do you think the fastest is that can go down the slide? I was like, I have a lot of mass, so I'm probably going to be like really fast. And this kid's like, I don't know, I think I'm pretty fast. I was like, okay. I can't remember. Ellie started assigning nicknames. He was like the savage duck, and I was, Anyway, when you're standing in line, you entertain yourself. So slip, slide, splash. This one was with, I think, Grasshopper from Spun Right Round, and then Dreams and Fibers. The leftovers from a pair of skews from Yarn Over 2016, I believe. Yes. And then this is some Dream in Color, their smushy base that they sent us when that came out after they had that other base. I can't remember what it is now.
Jilly, maybe?
No. It was another like sock type base. Merino. It's not coming to me, but it's discontinued, so I've apparently just drug it to the recycle bin in my mind. No need to remember that anymore. And then a Knitterly Things self-striping. So that was super fun. Again, these are the slip, slide, splash socks. I can say it 3 times fast. Then next up, I believe, last time you probably saw, and I took a picture. Ellie thought these were the cherry blossom socks, but no, this is the cherry blossom colorway from Leading Men Fiber Arts. I believe this is their BFL base, and then I combined that with Om colorway from I can think of it. Woolmize. Okay. I knit my sock arms body out of it. I did not knit Ellie another sweater. I used the scraps for scraps. And this is the Radiant Love. So this is reminiscent of the expanding community, but I thought I wanted to. They're quite a bit different. So I decided Radiant Love because love is radiant. I find it ever expanding. The more people you love, the things they love become things that you love. People they love become people that you love. And so, yeah, Radiant Love, there's a fun slip stitch motif. These are all alternating 2 colors, micro stripes on the bottom, and then that makes that top part really pop. But yeah, the cherry blossom colorway, to take a picture next to a cherry blossom tree Ellie loved that, and it made it memorable for her. The Belong Together socks. Where is my other one of this? Is it still in the bag? Sullivan, are you checking on my sock? Yes. This is the Drama Queen, is the purple, and I believe another spun right round scrap in the Chimera colorway. Another fun slip stitch motif. So the inspiration on these was just sometimes you see 2 colors and you know that they belong together. Kind of like people that become your friends, or if you, I guess I got these feet out for a reason, right? I'm just sitting here with a random foot in my lap. Amy, you should really prompt me on this. It looks a lot better, especially these ones that have curls. They get kind of bunched up and you can't really tell what's on there, so the foot forms are nice. Oh, and Sully decided to grab the KAL Winners yarn.
Sorry,
Sully loved. Who knew that having a kitten was going to be this much work? Now I gotta hide this. I can't put it back where it was, or he's just going to keep shoving and getting it. So yes, the Belong Together, 2 colors that just belong together, and they go up your foot together. All of these socks, I have not pointed it out, have a coordinating heel and toe and cuff. Yeah, I didn't leave them out for you to play with, sir. Ha-ha! Take that. Oh, these are the other pair I did with the scrappy Radiant Community. And then where did my other Belong Togethers? They're still in this bag. So this is an example of where I didn't think that I was going to have enough yarn of the purple. So this was the same Drama Queen from Leading Men Fiber Arts, and this is their True Love from the Valentine's kit. And I knit this up, so this used exactly 50% of both because I swapped the main color and the contrast color on this, and I absolutely love how it turns out. They are unique and different, but they are the same, right? They're matching. So. I don't know that I can knit like a non-contrasting heel and toe now and cuff. Like I absolutely love it. Like it just really sets off the main pattern. And there's those micro stripes. Oh, they're so pretty. I love them. And then the last one is Rise Up. Lattice is the inspiration for these ones, and I have a quote in there. I'm not going to do a great job of remembering the quote, but basically it's about not necessarily changing those that you love, but providing them a means for growth. And so that's the inspiration, is that sometimes you're the flower that's growing up the lattice and growing and changing, and sometimes you're the lattice that is supporting it. And that is with Yarnakuken and Starting Point from Leading Men Fiber Arts. So they very kindly, when I saw them at Yarn Over, provided me yarn support, so I was able to sample knit. So this was 250-gram skeins that I got from their wall of 50-gram skeins. Gotcha. They have mini skeins as well. I obviously would have quite a bit of the starting point, the white, left if I needed. But I think I used every last drop of the, maybe Yarnakukin wasn't the one that I grabbed from them.
Yeah, it looks really dark for Yarnakukin.
Okay.
I mean, I think Yarnakukin's more of a
Now he's chewing on the official podcasting pin. It's fine. So yeah, those are the 4 sock patterns. And then Ellie is my fine model for the photo shoot. And so she will model 4 socks. She absolutely loves them. She wears them every day. So I knit her some slip, slide, splash socks. Leftover, I was going to remember it too because it was so pretty. I think it's like Serendipity from, please don't get ink all over the floor. From Vesper, Knitterly Things Vesper self-striping. And then this is Beanstalk, I believe, from Aim and Fiber Arts. So she will be happy that we podcasted and she now gets to wear these fancy. I'm making them a little taller because I'm noticing a lot of her socks she's growing out of lengthwise, but then she's kind of just letting them slip more and more down the back of her heel. And again, all of these socks in the collection have the spacious orangey heel with instructions on how to work that in that main color. The really nice thing about that, the heel, toe, and cuff being in the contrasting color, but working just alternating colors throughout, is you just end up with 4 ends to weave in, because you've got where you started cast on, where you joined in. You don't have to break for the heel, and you have 2 at the top. So those are from Sully. And then this is Fiber Pates. They're they generously sent along some yarn for us in the magenta colorway, and Camera is really struggling with this. And the International Space Station, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get her tiny little on this, International Space Station from Destination Yarns. So yeah, just instead of going up and alternating throughout, at the very end I just put on a little roller solid color instead of a cuff. And super bright and fun. I just started these this weekend. She's got a little 48-inch circumference.
48 stitch.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Well, I was going to say 24, and I remembered the last time you corrected me, because I always think about sides of the needle.
Yeah.
So I cast on 8, and then I do the toe until I get 24 on each needle.
Yeah.
Right. So in my mind, it's on each needle, but I was correcting, and then I'm 48-inch. Sorry. That's definitely not what her foot circumference is. But these are the belong together. And she's going to get a pair of each of the socks in the collection, because she was a very willing model and had, we were there for an insane amount, and it was actually cold. That's the funny thing, right? Like, it was 2 weekends ago, and we were like in the pictures. So we also shot my Just Shining top at the same time. So that will be coming out shortly as I wrap up. Got the test knitters have all wrapped up. I just have to make sure that their yardages fit in with my calculations. And so, and they do, I think.
Yeah. See if the actual meets the estimated.
Yep, or at least is under, right? Like I want to make sure I have a certain percentage of buffer, because I don't want people to run out of yarn.
Gauge.
That's the worst. Yes. Gauge. If your gauge is looser, then you're going to end up probably having extra yarn, but you're probably going to be far less upset than if you ran out, right?
Yes.
Hey, wait, the pattern said.
That's happened to me with shawls.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you don't think it, like, gauge is all that important when you're making a shawl. So you just grab the needles, grab the yarn, go. And if you are just a tad looser than them and they don't put a buffer on it, you're out of yarn. You're like, ugh. It's painful. But that's why some shawls are like 500 yards. And you're like, ugh. Most skeins of yarn are for 400 or 450. Like, you're giving me 2 just to do this one. Anyway.
Yeah. As I was talking about the socks, I thought I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that I had been Post Stitch's sock box. They're a monthly club. They paired my 2 of my sock patterns with some yarn, some delicious yarn, and I can't remember the previous months now off the top of my head, but they interviewed me for their blog, so that was interesting. Asked some fun questions that I was like, what are my knitting goals, like life list goals, and where is the most interesting place I've ever knit? And so I can linky loo to them, and if you're interested, I think they have more than socks, but I've just been socktacular lately, and have an exciting announcement coming up other than the sock collection for the summer. So, yep, can't spill the beans yet. Gotta let the people spill the beans that I'm collaborating with. But super excited. Yeah, socks this year apparently. Haven't been knitting a ton. I guess I knit those 2 tops, the Keep Shining tops for Ellie and I. And that was the other thing. She was like, "When are you gonna publish that so that I can start wearing that top?" Like, we took the pictures. I think you could probably start wearing it anytime, Ellie, anytime.
But now it's like, no, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's wool, but it's wool at a loose gauge, and it's short sleeves, right? Nice and lean. I guess if you went to school and got cold, right?
Right.
Don't poo-poo on my parade. Haven't knit a ton of garments this year. Let the ones that I've knit be super useful.
Okay. So I'm knitting on my Elfie top. Get it on a hanger here. So this is some silk from Habu Textiles that I had bought a long time ago. Maybe not that long ago, but knitting with it, I'm finding is challenging, and not in any sort of technical way. It's just I'm finding it's kind of grippy as you're knitting with it, so it's not like your gauge will tensioning is an issue. Yes. Get loose and loose and tight stitches throughout the garment, and I'm trying to straighten them out as I go, and sometimes I'll find ones that are unmanageable, but that'll just have to be a feature of this gauzy garment when it gets
because when it's already in a cone, you don't really want to ball it because that was your linen.
Yep. That was the suggestion, and it's not that it's rough. It's really grippy. Like as you're knitting with it, it can like hold on to the other one, and then it doesn't loosen up until it's in the fabric, and so you get some odd tensioning.
And Amy is a very consistent tensioner, right? Like you notice when it's when you've got a row of loose stitches or whatnot.
Yep. So then, the only other things that I've been working on is this shawl, Mrs. Watson. I was trying. My pattern isn't in there. I'll have to find that. Mrs. Watson, and it was a pleasure to work on today. It was kind of easy peasy. Not much going on with it. I think soon I get to stop increasing the whole way, right? So it'll increase more on one side than the other, and then it will start decreasing. So I'm hoping that end is soon, or that progress where you start going back to is soon. And then I also started Rise Up. And I saw you commented on my
a billion times. I don't know what happened. Instagram must have went it didn't get posted. It didn't get posted. It didn't get posted or something.
Yeah, it was 6 times, every 2 minutes. What's going on here?
I went and did the slide, then it came back down. I said I loved it again, and then I went and did the slide, and I went, yeah. We were at the rack. It must have been some sort of Wi-Fi versus, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, so I have some Miracle Jen and Leading Men Fiber Arts. Friends of the pod, friends of the retreat, very nice folks. So these are leftovers from a couple of different giant shawls that I did. So this might be the colors I put into the Josh Rick's big shawl. I don't remember the name of it, but it was big. And I still haven't woven those ends in. It's still sitting there all fringy. And not being worn. I'll probably have to weave those in at the retreat.
Accidental tassels?
Yes.
The name of your autobiography?
Might just look. I will note that when I was, and maybe there's notes about it in the pattern, but there's make ones that are next to each other. And when I got the pattern going, was picking those up from the same color instead of picking them up from the previous color. So it looked bad until I went back and made sure that I was picking them up from, if purple is the lattice, I should have been picking them up from the green. And I was picking them up from the purple because that was the most visible to me at the time that I was picking them up. And then I was like, why doesn't this look good? And then I just kept going, and then I was like, oh, I see why. So I had knit these couple lattices a couple times.
Got it.
But I figured it out. But yeah, and I can see it being a common mistake, so I thought I'd mention that.
Because the color below is the
it's a slipped rod, right? You're not going in between stitches like you would normally go to pick up stitches. It's a rod that you've slipped over two stitches. So as you're knitting along, if you're not thinking about it, you're like, oh, I'm making one into the row below, and the row below that's visible to you is the same color because it's popping, right? And realized gosh, what? It's really bothering me. My mom thought it looked okay, so I was like, okay, well, I'll keep going. And then I figured it out.
Okay.
Just that little divot of green in there makes a big difference in how the motif looks.
Yeah, no, that's a good note. I guess, yeah. It did not occur to me that you would pick up there, but yeah.
Well, it's just when I'm thinking about how I normally pick up a stitch, it's the ladder in between the two stitches. And it's not that larger piece that it feels almost hidden because it's down behind the stitches.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. No. Should have had you in amongst my test knitters, huh?
Yes. Right?
Yep.
And I don't have anything else that I've actively been working on. So those are my active ones.
I have a shawl design that I have been working on that the poor yarn has just been ripped out, but I couldn't show it to you anyway. Because it is a ZK colorway. No spoilers. Spoiler, no spoilers. So yeah, I've just been, again, kind of knitting away Ellie's modeling payment socks as they've come to be named in my head. have continued to be on my needles. This pair is, again, that same green, which you'd think is not Yarnakuken, but I swear it's a ball of Yarnakuken. Maybe it was like a first pass that they gave us?
Could have been.
I don't know. I swear it is. I wouldn't have had a full, I would have had 7 full skeins of, if it were somebody else's colorway, right? Like, I think I used my Yarnakuken on my, Sunset Highway.
Mm.
And this was like a partial ball that I didn't, anyway. Oh, the troubles that we borrow when first we don't keep the ball band with the thing around.
like this is technically Yarnakuken.
Yeah.
And I remember,
It's a little lighter.
It's a brighter green.
Yeah. And anyway.
That's more like an emerald.
Yep. And then this is that same International Space Station. Isn't that fun how different it looks when combined with the pink and green? I mean, that's color theory for you.
Sorry.
Same colorway.
It's past my bedtime.
I'm sorry, too. I'm sorry that I'm so boring.
No, it's just past my bedtime. It's not you, it's me.
So yeah, if I put it on the bottom of this foot and that foot, there's a difference there. And this is the Radiant Love. I'm absolutely loving how how that contrast color just kind of pops. It looks like little. And then you see it growing up the foot. I had quite a bit of this International Space Station. I can't remember what pattern I made out of it. It was socks. But look at that. I mean, I've already... So the contrast color in these does not... You don't need a whole lot of it. I mean, you still need, you know, if you normally knit socks and they normally take 80 grams of yarn, you still need 80 grams of yarn, right? It's just split between the 2 colors, and because you're doing the toes and the heels and the cuffs in the main color, you know, it takes a bit more of that. But I would say, like, if my socks are normally 80 gram socks, like I use 80 grams of the 100 gram skein. For these, the main color takes about 40 to 50, and then again, whether or not you swap the other, then you just need like 30 grams, 30 grams of the contrast color. And on Ellie's, it takes absolutely nothing, right? Like next to nothing, because she doesn't have the full leg up here. She just wants those rollers. And so I didn't talk about color selection on these, but as you could see on most of them, I'm coordinating a solid with either a variegated or a self-striping, or you could do, you know, just random scraps if that's all you had for that contrast color. And like I said, if you coordinate or you flip-flop the main color and the contrast color, then you're just using, yeah.
Lots of movement going on here.
I'm trying to wake you up, Amy. Wake up! Yeah, I think it's a fun way to play with color. I'm all about the playing with color. So, and there's synergy there, right? Which is what the collection is named after. So yeah, I'm hoping to have a few other things on the needles here in short order. But I don't know how many of them are going to be ready for prime time. So as far as seeing it, showing it off on the pod, but that's okay because we're busy. We're busy with ZK stuff.
Yep.
The time it is a-flying. It feels like July. Did I see that you had some enabling?
Yeah, I do.
I don't have any more works in progress to talk about. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a works in progress failure.
I was just zhuzhing the stitches around the jog. So
Are you trying to jogless jog?
No.
No. You're just okay with it?
I'm just okay with it, but
I have found, pro tip, not that I'm calling myself a pro, if I put in a faux seam, purl divot, because it
Oh, yeah.
It, sucks it up together. You see the jog a heck of a lot less. And I tension the yarn a lot better when I'm bringing one forward and trapping the other to do that purl stitch versus trying to do it with a stockinette.
Well,
You have to add the design element, I guess.
It's already too far gone.
Just start adding one.
Just start.
Yep.
Have it
Mid-garment.
halfway down.
I just wanted to have a little gully from here on out.
So I used my dancing or Desert Vista Dye Works, coupon to get Zombie Dragon, Crystal Ball Frap, and Dry Bones. So the Dry Bones is a variegated, and then that Crystal Frap is going to be so fun. And then the Zombie Dragons has a dark color in there, which I'm kind of hesitant about, but it's gray. It shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, very pretty. So that was for participating for
3 months in the KL, and you get 10% per completed month in those first 3 months. So if you get 3, like I did, you get 30% off. So I used the 30% off on those. I completed April. May is a lost cause because I didn't start. So at this late date, I am not going to start. And I'm okay with that. So that's all the further I'm going to get this year.
Do they have to be consecutive months?
I think for prizes, yes.
Okay.
But some of the prizes might be in 3-month chunks. I'm just have never made it past the 6-month mark, so I don't know. Yeah, I could look into it and see, like, if I'm in the mood to start one in July, if there's those 3 months consecutive gives you something. But I saw a really generous coupon code go by for Unwind Yarn Company, and I really liked the holiday holiday base that she had given me for review, and so I decided to pick some up in the Old Lang Syne, so it's a lot of different colors in there.
And sparkly.
Yes, and that's the thing.
That's the base, yeah.
The base has a lot of glitz in it. And it's only 2% glitz. And this is an alpaca merino. And I was able to get a good size hat, fit my big-headed child and me, for a half a skein. So 90 yards. It's amazing. So I like that. It was a looser gauge, but still nice to have. And then I got an 80/20 in Greasy Pearl. I just really liked the color.
Yeah. It's very grape juicy.
Yeah. And it's got little hits of mustard color in it that I found really neat. So that's those. And then the May colorway is Pink Panther for... And since I'm doing that, I had to pick up those 2. And I kind of went over some ideas with my mom about what I want to do with these, and we were talking about options. I saw a hint that June might be something it doesn't really necessarily go with everything else that I've had so far. I mean, I think everything else so far has been kind of something that could blend together, and this one just seems like the odd man out, if the hint is to be believed. So I'm a little nervous about the next one, but maybe I can get it and just not incorporate it completely. And then we have the generous Sweet Sparrow yarns.
Yeah, I'm going to just stand up and get mine.
The Wrapped Up in Books colorway. And it's really, really pretty. And she gave us a lot of prizes. I think in addition to these skeins to us, she gave quite a few to the retreat. It's very pretty.
Sullivan is enamored with it.
And then, yes. And then Megan is also showing that trinkets. Okay, so here's mine. She gave us some samples. She's going to be in our marketplace. So So
Either a shawl or like a cardigan?
yeah, I think a shawl or cardigan. I imagine, secretaries in the 50s or so, like in a movie, having these things. But I can see how they would be useful.
Yeah, we have some owl ones on our Knit Cahoots sweaters, and everybody kind of stops and asks about them. So I think they're making a comeback. Possibility begins with imagination. Very
And then
inspirational.
mine just I heart knitting and lots of bling.
Very pretty. And I assume that she would be able to customize just about anything that we want to put on it.
Yep, definitely. And the things that she donated to the retreat have a little nice message that says if you'd like to exchange it for something that's more your liking at the marketplace, you can do that.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
that was very nice.
Yes.
And then I didn't bring mine, but Jinx gave us her awesome self-striping sock pin.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. It's super cute. It is very cute.
Super cute. All right, now we gotta find a place to hide these. Although Sullivan seems to have decided to leave us alone.
He's sleeping right there.
Okay.
Unless he's faking us out.
This is my bag. Oh, shame.
What?
It's not really shameful.
That's
It's
big.
fabulous in every single way. So before Shepherd's Harvest, I was enabled by a friend who said, "Don't you love this green?" And then I found some other green. The green that at Hello Yarn was super pretty, but they only had 2 skeins of it. And so I really wanted to have 3 skeins of the fingering, and I fell in love with this Hay Fever. And this is on their Super BFL base. Hello Yarn has some really pretty stuff out there in some interesting bases. Like I'm a sucker for a good base. So the other one was another BFL base, I believe, and it had 500 yards per skein. So I may have been able to have gotten just the 2. But really loving these greens and blues. They're kind of a patina look to it.
A hot tip. Marigold Jen's daughter, Hobbleby Hoy, Liz, is dyeing yarn.
Ah.
And she sent us some samples of her wares to give out at the retreat. And they are super interesting bases. Just, you were talking about super interesting bases.
Yeah. And the rest of this is all the same base.
Oh yeah.
So this Love You by Green K was at Shepherd's Harvest, and Amy had reviewed this yarn, and in addition to it, a lot of the folks that I had was spending the weekend with had gotten some. It was $4 a skein.
Oh, wow.
They had special colors that were $4 a skein. This was $8 a skein. Super love that it's very sheepy, very rustic. Really love the colors. So it's 100% wool. It's from the Brown Sheep Company. They sent us some, and you knit your mitten sample up in it, right? And so I just went to town.
Some super secret stuff down there, but
Yeah.
I could find my mitten for you.
Yeah. So maybe similar gray?
Yeah, same gray.
Yeah. So when I came home, I went out, and Webb's had some of this on Supercell as well. So if you're enabled and you want to check out this Love You, they had pretty much these colors and well, I guess quite a few more. But I figured this would be enough for something with some color work mixed in with that, and this would be another sweater that could have some mixed in with that. And then I got these as mixers, so like, I don't know, I could see a sweater with those 5 in it, or I could see a sweater, maybe not this one, but like with those 4 in it. If you had just a yoke of it, right? Like obviously I didn't get enough of these 2 colors, these 3 colors to really do just a 2 color something. But that said, I could totally do like a pair of mitts like that, right? With it as well. So I just went crazy. I walked around and with this bag and felt like happy about all the possibilities that entailed, right? Just go crazy. Just like, oh yeah.
It's reminding me of all the things that I have that I bought with all these lovely intentions. Like I have some Barrett, Wisconsin's Fun.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
And I have some stuff from Jill Draper Makes Stuff in large quantities to make something with.
Yeah. No, this is going to be a pretty large. I don't know that I'm going to be able to fit these into my existing bin. This is the large bag of goodies, but yeah, I don't know. Really like this Prairie Spun base, Prairie Spun DK. I've been designing a lot of color work DK things, seeing a lot of color work DK sweaters, and so that was good to have stumbled upon. And then I just told myself the rest of the time I was carrying around that big old bag and
didn't need anything else.
I didn't need anything else. It was like a yarn blocker. And then the very awesome folks at the Appalachian Baby Design, they have some really cute baby design patterns out there that use multiple colors, but they sent us this base of theirs, their organic cotton, which is grown in the United States, and I was telling Amy about it earlier. It seems really neat. It supports small-scale, sustainable, family-owned cotton farms, which is very, I'm trying to open it and I'm not opening it incorrectly, unique to me, because sometimes you don't know where your products that you're working with are coming from, and these guys are saying they're supporting the local folks, and so they sent along some yarn for Amy and I to knit with, and then I thought the spring into summer KAL that this cotton would be a really great prize for it. And so there's, you know, as I mentioned, there's some really cute baby patterns, but I think this would make a really great summer shawl. Amy has done some really interesting things with striping, where you could probably get sport weight, and how many yards per 194 yards times 3, so 18 less than 600, 500 yards. You get a tank in larger sizes, or perhaps a short sleeve top out of.
I don't know that I could.
Oh really?
But
loose gauge cotton.
Yeah, it'd have to be loose.
Yeah. Loose gauge cotton.
But
my tink. I guess I'm just thinking of like my Tink tank, which I think was fairly open fabric. Didn't take that much.
Well, and I don't know. I baby things are so fun and quick to make.
It's true.
Really cute, fun baby things.
That doesn't fit our spring into summer. Sorry, no.
Spring into summer baby.
Yep. So yes, U.S. organic cotton from Appalachia Baby Designs. Go check them out. I really liked their colors too. A very natural cottony color, and this darker blue would be fun for some baby boy knits.
You know what happened that I gave away the cape that I made from Sheena. I was like thinking like I have knit something else for a baby recently, or for a young one recently, and it jumped into my head. Oh yeah,
the super cape.
Super cape.
Yeah.
I did.
Super cape.
Quick, fun. The recipient mom thought it was really cute. So
what'd you knit that out of? The scraps?
Yeah,
scraps. Rainbow scraps. That's
Rainbow
right.
scraps from our
CK 2015. No,
16.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, and I do think that if you still have that kit, the patterns written for DK or fingering held double, so you could probably get some of that together for that. I don't know if it was 100% because I didn't calculate yardage on what I used. That's all I had.
Okay.
But yeah, this is fun. We'll have to think about.
I forgot. I think it must have slipped down into the bottom of all of this yarny goodness. I had my Ravel Linux pin.
Oh, you finally got that.
Finally got it. And I had it at one time. The ball between. Is this the color of yarn that I didn't show up?
I think you did.
Well, it was in here. I'm blaming it on Sullivan if I can't find it.
Here.
He came along and stole it.
Oh,
Here it
there
is. There he
That's a good
is.
one.
Little Bob. Isn't it Bob?
It's a circle. All of mine are squares, but I haven't gotten one in a very long time.
Isn't the dog's name Bob?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay. I was like, am I going insane? First I can't find the pin, then I can't remember the dog's name. So that was from earlier this year.
Yeah, I didn't participate this year, but like I'm missing the 2016, so now I feel like whatever.
They had, yeah, she had extras, but by the time that I found them, because I kept on thinking it would come up in the threads, and I had to go out and look for it. I couldn't find it easily. It was the last day that these pre-orders were available, and then she had talked about how, or in the thread it had said that she had extras of the previous Olympics.
Oh,
I
she
would-
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
People probably scooped them up as soon as she
Yes.
said that.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's all right. But yes, I've
No,
got
I
my
have-
pin.
I have the I have a Rap Olympics one before they got hand slapped,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have Rap Olympic ones, and that one doesn't even say.
Mm-mm.
It says 2018. Yep. But that's all right.
Yes.
They're big and they cling around, and all of them have fallen off at one point or another, so
Yeah.
they went back into their original spot.
The elephant in the room for us is most definitely ZK is moving.
Yes.
I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But lots of things are going on there. I have had a few inquiries about when class signups are going to be. We just, on Friday, were able to meet with the hotel staff to talk about the room availability and scheduling. And so that went out today, which is Monday, the 28th, to the teachers. Hopefully they could come back quickly with their go, no-go. And then I set the deadline for Wednesday of that, so that's the 1st, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so then class signups will be Wednesday the 8th, if you're a ZKer. I will distribute a week in advance, so if I don't get everybody signed off on Wednesday, then it will just keep moving out. Thursday, Friday, because I want everybody to have a week to know that it's coming, A, and B, to be able to look through the information. And then, as always, you get to sign up for 2 classes, and then if, you know, a week later, after everybody's had a chance to kind of fill in, you get unlimited after that. But we really do buckle down and make sure that you don't sign up for other people. And that you only sign up for 2 in that first week because we have limited spots. So.
Yep. When we didn't have that rule, there was a lot of people attending.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just wasn't as spread out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No. And yeah, I think it's better to have the rule in place than to have just unspoken animosity amongst attendees, right? If it's just a free-for-all and we allow people to free-for-all and then people are upset because they couldn't get a spot in a class that they wanted, then that's bad. So we as retreat organizers heard that feedback and made sure that we were giving everybody equal opportunity, because not everybody is going to be able to jump on next Wednesday or Thursday or whatever
Right.
the second that it becomes available. So.
And I figure if you've prioritized your 2 favorites,
You should be able to get,
exactly.
Yep. So, other than that, 5K time submission. I need to get that out there. Hoping to get that email out to folks this week. Amy continues to receive wonderful prizes.
I do. Our deadline was recently, so they are all queued up and ready for us to videotape.
Pre-recorded prizey goodness.
Yes.
Because we can't do it afterwards. Because then they all will be gone. As much as we would like to have them all still here with us.
I don't know what I would do with that much. I really don't.
And people, I don't think people would continue to send if we didn't give it to the people. Right. What do you think? You think
Or
they
just,
would
just kept it.
yeah, just been like, meh, this is too nice. I want it. I want it all.
We have, off the top of my head, at least 3 sweaters quantity pieces to give away. One of them being a 9 skein fade.
Whoa. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
That generous sponsor was like, drop the mic.
Yeah. She brought it. And then, yeah, just great sponsors for the goodie bags as well. Lots of coupon codes coming in.
And the goodie bags are going to be super fun.
Yep.
My upstairs is getting super full. Again, things that I can't see or I can't tell you about, but it's still super exciting for.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, oh, is now time to give a hint? No.
No, ma'am. Nope. What else? The survival guide should be coming prior to the retreat. The shirts should be shipping here shortly. So you should be getting your shipping notification. What else? Something came to mind and I can't remember what it was. Lots of fun going on out in the threads with the KAL and folks organizing stitch marker swaps. And so if you're attending and you're not out there, you definitely should be.
Yes, a lot happens out there. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, I wish I would have known. And I'm like, nah, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Go out to the threads, please, please, please. And I think this year instead of the mini skein swap, they're doing, Susan's doing a magic cake.
Yes.
So that's fun.
Yep.
We miss Miss Emily of Sophie's Toes and her beautiful. The market, super exciting market. We've got that all laid out and ready to go. Hopefully we can treasure or publish that treasure map sometime soon.
Yes, it's packed.
It's so much goodness,
stacked and packed.
Wonderful folks. So, anything else?
No, I don't think so. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.